Good afternoon. This is the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. I'm so glad that you could join me here this afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, 12 to 1 p.m. right here on GoMileHigh.com. I am indeed the manager extraordinaire for independent wrestling here in the state of Colorado. And I'm so pleased to have my show. I tell you what, if it wasn't for all the money I had to pay Rob Wagner to get on this show, it'd be a lot easier to get your own show on this station, but that's beside the point. I got a big show coming up for you here today. I'm going to talk about NRW, the big show they had this weekend. I'm going to talk about the whole promotion in itself in depth. I'm going to be talking about Aaron the Candyman, because I actually got to catch up with him and find out what really was going on with him. He wasn't injured or anything like that, because I'll get to that later on. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about myself. I want to let you know a little bit more about me, because we didn't get the opportunity because we were so preoccupied with Danger Dean coming in. I didn't understand what his deal was, that he had to come in and try to hog the spotlight from me. That's just not right. You know, he's a piece of garbage as far as I'm concerned. I have been in professional wrestling since 2007. I started out as a ring announcer, then I became a color commentator, and then I became a manager. And that's what I really wanted to be. My entire life, all I've wanted to be is a WWE professional wrestling manager, and I'm getting the opportunity right here on the independent scene. And the greatest acquisition that I could have ever had. I've managed great people. I've managed people like the Superstar. I've managed the Diamond Standard, Jason Knoll. I've managed Noah Torella. I've managed the Distinguished. I turned them from those sewer rats that they used to be as the, delinquents. It was unbelievable. I took them all, but the greatest acquisition of all that I have to say would have to be Chris Von Lohr. 6'7", 275 pounds from Dead Horse, Alaska. He's simply phenomenal. Big redheaded kid. Nobody I've ever seen before has been able to catch on to this business quicker, who has been able to really hone his craft and become something phenomenal. And I'm going to take him to any championship gold here in the state of Colorado. And if need be, I'm going to work, because he's only 19 years old. It's surprising how young he is and how far he's come in that short period of time. And I'm going to make sure that he's the champion, because there's no one better than Chris Von Lohr. I'm sorry. And I'm looking for new talent each and every day. I'm looking to see if I want to get the fitness guru, Wayne Dwayne. I understand there's a young kid out there from Shadwell, Nebraska. He went to that big state college out there named Sam Udell. He kind of looks like a total package as far as I'm concerned. And I think what I can do is I can get him under my tutelage, and we'll actually make a lot of money together. But the whole point of this show is independent wrestling. And the basic way to describe it and compare it is that we are the minor leagues of wrestling. So if you got the minor leagues of baseball, and you've got the Colorado Kings here that Go Mile High covers, and they are the minor leagues of basketball, ABA basketball. So it's kind of cool how that works out. And it's the whole point of this is that it's all about the wrestlers. We everything that I'm doing about this show is not only about me, but it's about the wrestlers. And so whenever you hear me talking about this, you want to know that it's going to be about the wrestlers. It's about no one else. And I'm just going to be talking about them. And we'll talk about the companies out there, that there's 5 major promotions and there's 4 minor promotions, but they're insignificant as compared to the wrestlers, because most of us are working towards the same goal. There are some of us out there that they're just concerned about, thinking they're going to get famous, or putting on some promotions tattoo like IWF and think there's something special, but really they're not. But there's some of us out there that are actually working towards a goal, and we're trying to make something of ourselves. And and a lot of us, there's a group of us. We call ourselves the Mile High Club. It's pretty interesting how that works out. We're a bunch of guys, and you can see that on my website, themichaeltitus.com. And it's been a core group of guys. And you've had like the Superstar, you've had Aaron Alexander, and you've had myself. We've had people come in and out like Johnny Zudo. We've had people like Noah Torella. Now we've got this guy, Chris Von Lohr. He might be in there for a while. We got another guy, Sam Udell. He's going to be in there for a while. But, we're going to start getting people in and out depending on their level of skills, because we don't mess around, and we don't deal with losers. But we got a whole big show planned for you. I'm going to be talking about NRW, like I said. I'm going to be talking about Aaron the Candyman, and I'm going to be talking about, this is a new segment that I'm trying to put together that Chris Von Lohr told me about. He says, why don't you talk about not only the history of wrestling, a little this week in history for wrestling, but wrestling today. So we're going to be talking about all that sort of stuff. And I got so much stuff going on here. I tell you what, if we had some equipment that worked around here, I tell you what, I should invest some money in here to GoMileHigh.com, because they have no computers that work. Can't even look at any information, trying to get all this information out to the people out there. And but yeah, we've got a great show for you. I've got so much going on. But yeah, you got to make sure you follow me on Twitter, Michael_Titus. You got to make sure that you like the Michael Titus Show on Facebook. If you haven't already checked it out, I got some big stuff going on there. I'm talking about all of the promotions, everything that's going on. It's unbelievable. But we'll get to all of that. And you know, if you don't already know who I am, I'm the best manager in the state. We've got a lot of other managers. We've got the Games Master, who I personally trained. We've got Perfect 10. There's a guy out there named Richie Boy. Just a lot of sometimes losers out there in terms of managers. But I'm working towards a goal of getting on television. I'm getting on a goal to be in the WWE. And so that's what I'm trying to work towards. And there we go. All right. Now we finally got some stuff going on. Now I know what's going on here. I want to let you all know that a little bit more about me is that I grew up watching managers, not wrestlers. Because I never saw, I saw the greatness of wrestlers, but I saw that you could have the more opportunity as a manager to push the envelope and have a little bit more of a sense of intelligence out there than the wrestlers did. And that was what's important. And I saw is that you could look nice, and you could still be a heat-seeking target in the middle of the action. And that's something that the wrestlers, they just go out there and you're big, muscular and everything, but they don't get to show their brains. And that's what's important, is that you got people like Bobby the Brain Heenan, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. You got Jim Cornette. And a lot of people have compared me to all these guys, but I'm my own person. I'm the Rocky Mountain Mouth, and I do my own thing. And, you know, yeah, I may have big hair, I may wear flashy jackets, but the thing is that nobody talks like me, nobody thinks the way that I think, and nobody gets the job done like I do. I am the best manager living today. There's no question about it. I've seen the people in Ring of Honor. I've seen them out in Metro, down in Kansas City. I've seen them all over the place. And they're all idiots. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to do anything. And now I've just got to get my name out there and get noticed by the proper people. And again, this show is about the wrestlers. 13 years of wrestling in the state of Colorado. And I tell you what, it's just unbelievable. We got a lot of great things going on. And I'm going to be, again, like I said, talking about NRW. I'm going to be talking about NEW from this past weekend. We got a lot of big things going on. And you know what? You don't want to miss that big segment I've got coming up with Aaron the Candyman. I actually tracked him down. I actually found out what was really going on with him, because other people didn't know. They all think that he's got a broken neck. Really, that's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. So, moving on, let me talk about New Revolution Wrestling. Since we got all the information, I've got it all taken care of. I put it out there in your face. You're kind of scared now. But I'm going to talk about something very important. And that was New Revolution Wrestling this past weekend, November 12th. That was a Saturday, and it was a benefit for the Rocky Mountain Deaf School. We had some big matches on that. The very first match was the newcomer, Tony Ortega. Tony Ortega versus Trajan Ender. And he took on, it was a big match. You got Tony Ortega, this little guy, this little high flyer, kind of a Mexican wrestler, coming out and taking on Trajan Ender. Trajan Ender is more of a Ring of Honor type wrestler. And they had a long, hard-fought battle, but Trajan Ender was just too much for little Tony Ortega. Tony Ortega couldn't handle it. He couldn't cut the mustard, and it was just too much for him. But hopefully Tony Ortega will come back and try to make a name for himself. Trajan Ender, he's on a skyrocket, and I understand. I've just heard that there's a big match coming up in January where the NWA heavyweight champion, Adam Pearce, might be making a stop off here in the state of Colorado. He might actually be facing Trajan Ender in January. So that's going to be something special. You don't want to miss that. But then we had my diamond standard, Jason Knoll. Jason Knoll. You know, there's a lot of times that I feel bad for the kid because he's not really that bright. He's not in that great a physical condition. He's got no hair. He don't even have eyebrows. But under my tutelage, he's been able to get the job done. And he went up against Lil Mac, which is basically Patrick McDaniel. Patrick McDaniel is some young punk kid that decided that he was going to get up and become a boxer now. But I will talk more about Lil Mac here when I come back from the break. This is the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Ugh, finally. Let's see what's on. Nope. Too fuzzy. Ugh.
Thomas vacant Senate seat.
What?
Ed Jensen says
it's terrible. I can't understand a word that you're saying. That's it. I've had enough. www.gomilehigh.com. Enter.
You've been working hard.
Yeah.
Take a break.
It's gonna be a lot of fun today.
Get behind the scenes.
All right, I can actually hear what they're saying. This is so much better.
Today on the Press Box. Why even bother with a fuzzy radio signal when you can get crystal clear sports radio streaming live off your computer?
You don't even need to mess with any dials. Just type in www.gomilehigh.com and click on the Listen tab.
Ride the wave of the future with GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath. Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, football fans! Are you ready for the sporting event of the season? No, I'm not talking about the Tebow Show, but the Hooters Football Bikini Contest. On Wednesday, November 16th at 7 p.m., your Lakewood Hooters girls will be competing in sexy football attire and bikini contests. Go to Facebook.com/Hooters Colorado for more info. Football and bikinis can't get better than this.
Welcome to the Press Box.
The 49ers, where he's going to be drafted by Harbaugh or whatever.
Right, and then favors go in a circle, and all of a sudden, President Newton.
I just had an awesome thought on the radio right there. That was just great.
Recorded live in Lakewood, Colorado, the Press Box is your source for online sports news and updates.
You basically trade away Jay Cutler for Kyle Orton and some draft picks.
Don't forget Peyton Hillis.
And Peyton Hillis. And then you bring and then your next step is you trade Peyton Hillis away for Brady Quinn, and then you draft a quarterback.
Daily, 3 to 5 p.m.
4 good reasons that you can postpone a game. 1, your roof collapses. 2, Hurricane Katrina. 3, terrorist attacks. And then 4, lightning.
The Press Box brings you all the latest sports news only on GoMileHigh.com. Who's the best player you got?
Somebody gonna be mad at me.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to put you on the spot here. You can say yourself.
I mean,
take the easy out.
Yeah, I am probably the best player.
The Press Box, 3 to 5 p.m. on GoMileHigh.com.
Hi, this is Aaron the Candyman, and you're listening to Michael Titus, the Michael Titus Radio Show at GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. Oh boy, I'm so glad that you could be back right here with me, your host, the Michael Titus, Rocky Mountain Manager Extraordinaire. And I tell you what, like I was telling you, NRW, New Revolution Wrestling, this past Saturday night, November 12th, the benefit for the Rocky Mountain Deaf School. I was talking about the Diamond Standard, Jason Knoll, my protege, and he was taking on Lil Mac. Patrick McDaniel, who seems to find that he needs to become a boxer now, and he's got some Doc Taylor out there, some big black guy with some gnarled up looking hands that has no business being in wrestling, first of all. He's eating candy bars all day long. What kind of a diet is he on? He's some sort of workout plan where he can eat Hershey's candy bars all day long. He's looking like a big bloated toad out there, and he's trying to come on, trying to put his hands on me and trying to make a name for himself by beating me up. It ain't going to happen like that. I don't care what he thinks. And that's why his little Mac suffered a loss against Jason Knoll, because he has no business being out there. Little Mac needs to just give it up. He has no right being in wrestling, because if he can't cut the mustard, if he's not good enough to beat Jason Knoll, he's not good enough to beat anyone. I know that for a fact, because I can beat Jason Knoll. I beat him before, and I'll beat him again. That's why I'm his manager, and that's why I'm the brains of the operation, and he's not. Now, What really ticks me off about Saturday night is Duff Doyle and Swan Christopher. Swan Christopher comes out and brings his attorney, or rather the NRW attorney, Bethany Allred, and tells me that whatever stipulation that they had the last time about how Chris Von Lohr has to be on a one-on-one match with Duff Doyle, submission match, I have to be handcuffed to the Duff Doyle militia. Peter Griffin, this big fat bloated piece of garbage I have to be sitting next to and handcuffed to him, could have broken my other wrist. And Bethany Allred says it's a go. That none of my attorneys, all the work that they've been trying to put in the injunction and prevent that from happening, it was no way to stop it. So what happens? I said no. I told them I wasn't going to be handcuffed. There's nothing they can do. If they want to sue me, sue me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of them being sued. Look at this, some chippy little toots over there. You know, Bethany Allred thinks that she can make a name for herself on my expense? Nuh-uh. So we went out there, and I told all of the Duff Doyle militia, and I told all of the people in the crowd, I said, he's just a country bumpkin. He's just a common idiot, and he has no right coming out here and demanding stipulations like that. And we put the boots to him. When he comes running out to the ring, we put the boots to him. Now, we thought we had it well in hand. I really believed that we had it all in the bag, that we were going to win the match, that there was nothing worried about. All of a sudden, Duff Doyle comes up from behind, and he bashes our skulls together. I tell you what, my eyes were spinning, my ears were ringing. I was spinning all over the place. Next thing I know, Swan Christopher comes, grabs my wrist, drags me over to that big boulder, handcuffs me, ties me down, and then on top of that, no wonder I couldn't get away from him, because it's like a short leash on a big, huge dog. And then I'm being accosted. I'm being physically fondled by, oh my God. I thought it was a woman. I really thought it was a woman. But after thinking about it, I don't think it's a woman. I think it's a midget version of Divine, that drag queen from Pink Flamingos, Polyester, and the mother of Ricky Lake and Hairspray, putting her hands on me. It was absolutely disgusting. I'm going to have to go out and find myself a personal bodyguard, because she came over the barricade and started chasing me around the ring with lust in her eyes. It was just absolutely disgusting. I had to get away as fast as I could. I tell you what, I had to have a doctor look out of my wrist. He just said it's a little strained. It's not sprained or broken or anything, but whew, I tell you what, and Chris Von Lohr lost his match. That's what's so depressing, is because if I would have been able to have access towards the ring, I would have been able to not only interject myself, but verbally interject myself into the point where I could have given the words of advice to Chris to win his match. What a night, I tell you what. And then you had Mercury Matt Yaden versus Prodigy. Now, I've talked about Prodigy before. He says he's been born into this business, but for some reason, he has a sick obsession with a stop sign. I don't know. He likes to carry a stop sign. He likes to get stop sign tattoos. It's just unbelievable. Well, they had a match June 4th, previously this year, and Prodigy got disqualified for using the stop sign. Well, in this particular match, Prodigy tried to use the stop sign again, but it backfired on him. It actually, when he tried to use it, Yaden went to go kick it, and it actually hit Prodigy. Therefore, Yaden got disqualified. So I understand there's going to be a big match, a big match to where the two of them are going to face again, and possibly the stop sign is going to be a stipulation. Since it's played a role in each one of them getting the one against the other match, one got the victory and the other one got the victory, they're going to see if that has to work out. But in the big main event, the main event was the NRW champion, the superstar Andrew Ryan. He took on Jesse Williams. And like I told you last time, they had that deciding match on June 4th, who was going to be the number one and the very first NRW champion. Jesse Williams lost. I felt it was because Swan Christopher stuck his nose in where it didn't belong. But the superstar prevailed. He got his 450 splash in, and he won the match. Now, this time around, Jesse goes around, and he's just demolishing him. Every big move that you could possibly imagine, power slams, body slams, throwing him like a rag doll. I mean, the Superstar tried as much as he could. He did arm drags, he did drop kicks, taking the big man off his feet. But then, the icing on the cake was Jesse Williams took the Superstar out of the ring, and the way NRW has it at Fun City is that it's in the derby rink, the roller derby rink. So they've got those big... I want to say plastic, sometimes rubber dividers that they build walls out for not only the go-karts but the roller derby. And Jesse Williams plowed him right through the wall. I wanted to get an interview with the Superstar. I wanted to talk to him and let him know what was going on, but he just was not able to do anything. He was too despondent over that. But I'm going to talk more about that match when we get back. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Oh, dude, look over there. Oh, forget that. Look what just came around the corner.
I'll buy her a hot dog.
Holy smokes, is this not the greatest place on earth?
How about the one in the red?
Ooh.
No, the next row down.
Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Is that her mom?
Her too.
Nice. Oh, dude, my nose is freaking broken. Dude, I snagged the ball. Whoa, you okay? GoMileHigh.com. We pay attention to sports, so you don't have to.
Broadcasting from Belmont, Lakewood, Colorado. GoMileHigh.com.
Hi everyone, it's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt with American Liberty Mortgage, here to talk about renovation loans. There's no need to do the renovation work yourself when you can have a contractor do it and get it done in a required period of time.
With Fannie Mae's Home Path loan and FHA's 203K loan, you can have the renovation work done for you and have the cost rolled into the loan. Call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt for more details about the Home Path renovation and FHA 203K loans at 303-901-6042.
That's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042.
This is Chris Von Lohr, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. And I was saying before the break, I was talking about the big main event. NRW Heavyweight Championship match, Superstar versus Jesse Williams. And Jesse Williams put the Superstar through a wall. When they had their match on June 4th, he put him through a table. This time he put him through the go-kart wall. I tell you what, it was a massacre. Everybody, everything just goes everywhere. Everybody that was sitting behind it was scared. They were afraid they were going to spill their drink. I saw Trajan Ender. He was worried about his vodka shooter or whatever he had in his hand. He was scared to death that he was going to spill it because he sure enjoys his drink. Then you had Superstar, but he went back in. Superstar went in. He did his splash. He did all these moves that he was trying to do. But then it was just too much for him. Jesse Williams prevailed. He got the job done. It was something else. So Jesse Williams is now the new NRW champion. It's the Jesse Williams era, I understand, and I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if it's going to be a week, a month, a year, however long Jesse Williams decides to remain champion. So that was a big night. But then the following night, Sunday, November 13th, New Era Wrestling, I did something that was a little upsetting for Stephen Powers. I thought I'd bring in my dear close personal friend, The Truth, from the Full Nelson. I figured I'd bring him in and I would introduce him to the New Era crowd. Because he wants to be a manager. He wants to start putting together a little group called Bomb Squad. He wants to put this together, and I guess he told me that Bomb Squad stands for Black Oppressed Mean Brothers. So he wants to put together a little group like that. So I said, all right, I'll bring you in since I manage Jason Knoll. He's pseudo-black. And then you have Black Ops, A Felon, and War Dog Damian Payne. I thought, hey, if you want to come in, I'll bring you in. I'll break you into the business, and I'll teach you what it takes to become a manager in the world of wrestling. So he comes in and he stands in the ring and he cuts a promo on the microphone. Well, his promo wasn't the best. Really could have been better if he really tried, but he didn't try. So it really was a little disconcerting, and so he tried, but it didn't work out, and Stephen Powers was really upset about it. And then right after that, I introduced my Diamond Standard, Jason Noel, all the way from Colorado Springs, Colorado, weighing 190 pounds. I brought him in, and he took on the Superstar. Now, like I've said before, I've managed a Superstar, and we ride up and down the road together. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his views, but he doesn't agree with me either. So, but we have a common goal together, and that's to make it in this business. And so that I can respect him for that. So he went up against Jason Noel. I tell you what, he really gave Jason Noel a run for his money. Jason Noel really had a hard time going up against a Superstar. But if it wasn't for my brains, my aptitude, my intelligence, because when the Superstar thought that he was on the comeback trail, I got up on the apron and I distracted him. Well, it actually turned against my favor because Jason Noel put on a waistlock from behind, but then Superstar moved around, pushed him in front of me. We stopped that, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he drop kicks Jason Noel, and Jason Noel bombards me. I get knocked off the apron, but you know what? I'm a resilient individual. I went in there and I said, you know what? I see the Superstar's going for the super kick. I'm going to grab his foot. And it was just enough of a distraction that prevented him from landing that super kick on Jason Noel and prevented him from being the victor in that match. And as far as the other matches that night, I really didn't pay attention. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? Tonight is not the night. I had a big night. I was too flustered and upset about NRW. I've got some Alexis Vane. I find out later that that's what its name is that was attacking me. Looked like something got scared, put its finger in a light socket or something like that. Hair standing straight on end, white as a ghost, 75 pounds of makeup on its face, wearing some silk stockings and silk robes, and it just was scary. And it was putting its hands all over me, fanning me. Luckily, it had a mirror, so I could check out my hair and make sure it was all right in place. But other than that, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But so it's now time for that special segment that I was talking about, the promotion profile. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit of back history before I play a little clip that I have. It's New Revolution Wrestling. Started back on June 10th of 2010. Started back in June of 2010, and we started out at the Dakota Ridge High School. And we started running shows there for a while, and the reason we did that was because the founder is Mercury Matt Yaden. And at the time, he was coaching high school wrestling at Dakota Ridge High School. So we figured it would be a perfect venue for that. Well, then we moved to Red and Jerry's. And the reason we got into Red and Jerry's is because Matt Yaden partnered with a big fight promoter, Frankie Sanchez, from around here. Frankie Sanchez came in and helped assist him, brought him into Red and Jerry's, and we were doing phenomenal there. They were doing a lot of sales, they were making a lot of big strides, and they were finally making a name for themselves. Well, then Frankie Sanchez just ups and disappears. I don't know if he got smuggled back to Japan or wherever the hell he came from. And, I don't know what happened to him. But one thing I do know is that we had to get out of Fun City. We had to get out of Red and Jerry's, and we had to move to Fun City because that's where it was at. And at Fun City is where we picked up this actor from this Actors Guild, Swan Christopher. The man couldn't act his way out of a paper bag as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't know the first meaning of acting. I think that he's one street performer, the guy with the black and white face paint, and he feels like he's stuck in a box. That's what I think Swan Christopher is. But somehow he comes in, he invests thousands and thousands of dollars of his money, and now he's the owner of NRW. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how he did that. Why this Mercury Matt Yaden was so gullible to believe this phony Swan Christopher. That's not even his real name, I don't think. To come in and start running the show. But besides that, that's all irrelevant. What is important is that There's been a lot of great people associated with NRW. We've got people like August Kai. And August Kai is one of those announcers that's been around for many, many years. He's Polynesian. He's worked for some of the great companies, RMCW, IWF. He's worked for them all. Fusion. And he's worked his way, and he's come to NRW. Now he's the ring announcer and play-by-play commentator. And I color commentated there for a while, but I needed to focus more on the managing, especially when we had the whole controversy with Duff Doyle, which is still unresolved, and it's still not finished, and I'm going to get the job done because if it's the last thing I do, Chris Von Lohr is going to beat Duff Doyle, and we're going to rid Swan Christopher from NRW permanently. And there's a lot of other great guys that have been a part of NRW, and I'm going to get to that after the break. This is the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
It's that moment when a person becomes something greater than themselves. The sports talk show host sets up to the microphone. He knows the pressure is on to deliver a spectacular performance. He drops back, hands the toss to his co-host. His co-host tosses back. It's a flea flicker. The host bombs it down the field, and the audience receives a touchdown. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what just happened.
We love sports, and we love to talk about it. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle.
Catch your breath.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, John, why do you keep hitting yourself in the head with that hammer?
Well, I found this really great home. It's a Fannie Mae foreclosure, and it needs some renovations, but I don't know who to talk to about getting financing on this type of home.
You should call the mortgage team of Jennifer Hill and Matt Harris at American Liberty Mortgage. They were able to get me and my husband a renovation loan, and we were able to finance all the rehab costs.
Really?
Yeah, and they're really easy to work with, and interest rates are really low right now.
Do you have their number?
Of course I do. You can call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042. That's 303-901-6042. Now put that hammer on the ground and back away slowly.
Ugh, finally. Let's see what's on. Nope. Too fuzzy. Ugh.
Thomas vacant Senate
What?
seat.
Come on.
Jensen says
It's terrible. I can't understand a word that you're saying. That's it. I've had enough. www.gomilehigh.com. Enter.
You've been working hard.
Yeah.
Take a break.
All right.
A lot of fun today.
Get behind the
All right. I can actually
in
hear what they're
the press
saying.
box.
This is so much better.
Today on the press box.
Why even bother with a fuzzy radio signal when you can get crystal clear sports radio streaming live off your computer? You don't even need to mess with any dials. Just type in www.gomilehigh.com and click on the Listen tab. Ride the wave of the future with GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
Hi, this is Aaron the Candyman, and you're listening to Michael Titus, the Michael Titus Radio Show at GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. And as I was saying before the break, I was talking about the important people that were a part and are still a part of NRW. There's a guy by the name of Dewey Larson. For some, that name rings a bell. He is a man who has worked on productions in terms of television, lights, sounds, you name it. He did it all. And that was one of the things that actually propelled him to work for the WWE. And they said, why don't you come in and be a referee? So he went to Fusion Pro Wrestling and he started training with them. And so he became a referee, and he went on to referee in ECW, which was a branch of the WWE a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago. And he worked his way through till there was some controversy about that, which he wouldn't want me airing on the air, so I'm not going to talk about it. But one thing I'm going to say is that Dewey Larson is a phenomenal referee. He has made his way to NRW, and he's honored us by using his talents here with us. There's another man, Derek Stone. Derek Stone has been a part of wrestling for the better part of 20 years. He started back in Ohio, and he was trained by Charlie Fulton, Charlie Fulton is this guy I'm only heard from stories. I only know who he is from stories. And what I've been told is that he was a big name wrestler, and then he decided instead of running shows, he would just train wrestlers. And he taught them everything. I mean, you won't find any trainers today that will teach you the things that Charlie Fulton taught him. And he taught him things like how to do your own taxes, how to get your own bookings, how to manage your travel, how to do all those things. And a lot of us don't even know how to do it. I, of course, know how to do that, but that's beside the point. But Derek Stone is a phenomenal wrestler. He's out of Rapid City, South Dakota right now. He sometimes wrestles for NRW, but most of the time he wrestles for Metro Pro Wrestling out of Kansas City. But NRW's had some rocky times, but they've continuously prevailed. They've had problems with the ring. They've had problems with the venue. They've had problems with attendance. But all that is starting to turn around. 2012 might indeed be their year. And they were so popular that unlike other promotions like ACW, NEW, IWF, they actually got broadcasted. They actually got covered by a bunch of groups. There was the Adventurous 500. There was these group of guys who went around for 500 days and met with local businesses throughout the Denver area and showcased them on their website, adventurous500.com. If you want to look at it, the Michael Titus Show on Facebook has a YouTube link to the video that they made exclusively for NRW. I have a little segment in there myself. You might want to check it out. It's pretty interesting. But what I want to play for you right now is what CBS 4 played for him, and they put together. Vic Lombardi, that sports announcer for CBS 4, he put together this little piece, and I want to play for you right now.
We all have our favorites. For me, it was the High Flyers, Greg Gagne and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. I loved those guys. Almost as much as I hated the Iron Sheik and Bobby the Brain Heenan. I remember when the American Wrestling Association was the greatest thing on television. Mean Gene Okerlund, greatest announcer on television. Now there's a new game in town, and we got an all-access look at real-life wrestling. It's a Saturday night at Fun City in Littleton. Professional wrestling takes to the ring. No, it's not the bright lights and the big venues of the WWE. This is the NRW, New Revolution Wrestling. Locally owned and operated. But it's still wrestling, just like the big boys.
Alright guys, let's get started.
Matt Yaden and Swan Christopher are the driving force behind NRW.
So we'll do the national anthem
at 4:50. A couple of weeks before the Littleton show, they huddle around Matt's dining room table to plan out every minute.
So that's intermission at 5:50, roughly, is when I want that to go down for about 10 minutes total.
Matt runs the live shows. Swan, he's the boss, the owner of NRW.
I can put on a mask and come out as a heel.
Please don't.
That'd be funny. Do it.
If you really look at it, it's just entertaining, you know. It's good guys versus bad guys. It's superheroes against supervillains, you know, and that's what we're trying to promote. And everyone can relate to that.
It's entertainment, it's sports, it's athleticism. It's the best of all worlds.
In a warehouse in Commerce City, the wrestlers go through an intense training session. The show is now only 2 days away.
It's much more difficult than people think it is. So it's very difficult, it's very demanding, but it's very satisfying. We work hard to give people their money's worth every night.
You know, it's worth it. You know, it's definitely worth it, and we want to make sure that people get their money's worth.
Thank you. Finally, Saturday night, showtime. A small but loyal crowd files in, while backstage backstage, last-minute directions are dished out.
Match number 1 is Wayne and myself. Diamond is going to interfere. So we just need to get together real quick to figure out the best way to do that.
Among the wrestlers on the evening's card, Joshua Hansen. By day, he works at a grocery store, but in the ring, he's a crowd favorite. His name, Duff Doyle.
I'm pretty mellow outside the ring. In there, I kind of unleashed the cartoon inside me. High school counselor said, what are you going to do with your life? And I went home that night and I turned on TV and wrestling was on. And I was like, that looks fun. That's what I want to be.
Duff would go on to win his match, just one of 6 on the night, featuring all the classic characters synonymous with wrestling. The guy in the mask, the champ with the belt, and of course, the Weasel manager. For the crowd, Saturday night at Fun City was a hit. For Matt and Swan, a few glitches made it tense, but in the end, a success.
A couple times tonight I felt like quitting. Got the honest truth. But I'm not going to stop. It's, people want us, and we're going to give them what they want.
Remember the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke? That is exactly what this is. Local wrestlers just living the dream. Go see for yourself. Check out their website, nrwrevolution.com.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Sarah. What's up?
Nothing much. You?
Trying to listen to some sports talk radio. I can't hear a word.
Here, let me help. Give me your Mac. And pass the chips, too. Okay, so go to Go Mile... Wait, how do you even work these Macs?
Wow, Sarah. You got to use 2 fingers to scroll.
I got it. Okay, so like I was saying, go to GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com, you say?
Yeah, they have everything. Tons of sports shows, and on their website there are show schedules, a listen live button, links to their Facebook pages, and even a webcam.
Whoa, I can actually see them?
Seeming that you own a Mac, I thought you would know that.
Hey, don't go all Nancy Drew on me. I knew that.
Yeah, but check it out. It's on crystal clear internet radio, so no more issues.
Wow, thanks, Sarah.
Yep, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks. Wait, where did my chips go?
The wave of the future is here. Don't get left behind. Listen to GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Pack your bags. A broadcasting school is looking for you to study in the USA. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting's Colorado campus is now accepting students from all over the world for its international training program in radio and TV. For more information, Skype us at Broadcasting USA or visit beonair.com/international. You could take classes in English or Spanish, be on the air, and be in the USA. Skype us at Broadcasting USA or visit beonair.com/international.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
This is Chris Von Lohr, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. Are you looking for the cheapest Bronco tickets you can find anywhere? Then go to GoMileHigh.com and click on our Partners tab. Type Denver Broncos into the search bar and you can find the cheapest tickets to see the Broncos take on the Jets or any other team that you want to see them take on during the season or on the road. If you're looking for sporting events, concerts, or theater tickets, we have great seats at unbelievable prices all in one stop. All you do is go to GoMileHigh.com's homepage, click on the Our Partners tab, and you can find the best ticket prices on the web. That's GoMileHigh.com for all your ticket needs. So back to the show. As I was saying, we had that little clip there, and that was from CBS 4. Vic Lombardi came in and did a piece on NRW. I think that was pretty cool. No other promotion has had that. No other company in the state that I know of has had something like that. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Now, it is now time for This Week in Wrestling History. I don't know, I was talking with some people and they said it was kind of sad, this particular piece, but it's something that's very important because we can take on the positive side of things. Because this past Sunday, November 13th, was 6 years, the 6th year anniversary of the death of Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero died 6 years ago, 2005. Phenomenal wrestler. I mean, he's been wrestling, it's in his blood, it's in his family, his father, his uncle, his brother, his cousin, his nephew, they all wrestle. And so they all had a great time doing it, and he had a great time doing it. And he's worked for promotions like AAA down in Mexico, WCW, ECW, WWE. He's worked for them all. And he's a two-time United States champion, one for WCW, one for WWE. He's a WCW Cruiserweight champion. And at No Way Out in 2004, he beat Brock Lesnar to be the WWE champion. That was a phenomenal thing. And then at WrestleMania 20, his good friend Chris Benoit won the World Heavyweight Championship that night as well. So they went out as champions that evening. And then on November 11th, he actually had a match on SmackDown, and that was his final appearance. And he was actually supposed to be named in the Survivor Series match that in the following weeks. And he was supposed to be out there, but Randy Orton had to take his place. And so he died of acute heart failure because they said he had heart disease. And some people say that it was because he, of all the years of doing drugs and things like that. But really what it is that for all the years of working out, you can get heart disease. It puts a strain on the heart, and he was in phenomenal shape, and he went to the gym almost every day. And so that really has a lot to do with what happened for him. And, he is survived by, he's got a couple of kids. He's got a wife, Vicky Guerrero, who right now is in the WWE, and she's one of the only managers there. And all I got to tell you is that, she's quite a looker, but I'll get to her in a minute. But one thing that we can remember about Eddie Guerrero is that he had this funny thing that he would used to do is that while the referee's back was turned, he'd go and grab a chair, but then he'd give it to his opponent, and then he would lay down. So that when the referee turned around, it looked as if he got hit by the chair. And so then his opponent would get disqualified. And that's how he won many of his matches. So it was kind of funny how it worked out. But Vicky Guerrero, talking about Vicky Guerrero, she's my pinup gal. Woo, what a looker. She's the only cougar that I go for. I tell you what. But she's doing some phenomenal strides as a manager these days. Just recently she got on the apron and she slapped Mason Ryan, this big guy, this Welsh guy from Cardiff, Wales. Took him out. Dolph Ziggler lost the match in the process, but he was able to prevent injury and remain the United States champion. That's what's important. And now that's what's going on this week in wrestling. What's really going on is the Survivor Series coming up this Sunday, November 20th. It's the 25th anniversary of the Survivor Series, and it's going to be at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, the newly renovated Madison Square Garden in New York City, right there on 8th Avenue. I was staying at the New Yorker Hotel a couple of years ago, and I saw it right there. Wish I had a chance to go in there, even travel around Penn Station. That would have been awesome. But they've got some big matches going on that night. They've got Mark Henry is defending his World Heavyweight title against The Big Show. These two have had a knockout, drag-out match, several matches in a row. They had one match, the last pay-per-view, where they broke the ring. They did a superplex off the top rope. It was unbelievable. And then you've got, of course, Beth Phoenix. She's defending her title. And I think she's going up against Eve Torres. But not many people really care because a lot of people don't like the Divas matches, and but is Eve Torres deserving of a title match? Maybe not. Does she deserve the Divas title? No. But that's for a lot of people to argue. And then you've got that big match, the 5-on-5 match. Team Randy Orton versus Team Barrett. The Barrett Barrage is what he calls it. And you've got people like Sin Cara. You've got just a whole host of guys that are with him on that match. I know that Christian has gotten replaced by Dolph Ziggler. That's one thing that I know, because I tell you what, it's hard to tell you what's going on, especially when the computers just like to freeze up on you. It's unbelievable. But there's a big match. You got to see that match, and there's a big match coming up in the main event. You're going to have John Cena. He's going to go tag with The Rock up against the Awesome Truth. You got The Miz, The Truth, R-Truth, and then you've got that big match. Alberto Del Rio, the WWE Champion, versus CM Punk. It's a match in the making, because CM Punk put the Anaconda Vice on Alberto Del Rio and told him that he needs to give him the match. And so they did. I'm going to talk about that more coming up here after the break. This is the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
You're listening to GoMileHigh.com. Oh. We may not be perfect, but we love sports. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
Hi everyone, it's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt with American Liberty Mortgage, here to talk about renovation loans. There's no need to do the renovation work yourself when you can have a contractor do it and get it done in a required period of time.
With Fannie Mae's Home Path Loan and FHA's 203K loan, you can have the renovation work done for you and have the cost rolled into the loan. Call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt for more details about the Home Path renovation and FHA 203K loans at 303-901-6042.
That's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042.
Hop in the car and ride along with me, Dustin Jonas.
And me, Ben the Bean, on the Power Hour, as we power slide through the world of racing and motorsports along with
automotive news.
Starting this coming up model year, Ford will not offer a CD player as standard package in a vehicle.
It's somewhat surprising, but somewhat
expected.
Yeah, because how many cars can you buy with a cassette player? Local events.
We have the Cummins Rocky Mountain Truck Fest. Entries are open to anybody with a pickup or SUV. All you got to do is pass tech inspect. Costs $30 to get in. Burnout competition, drag racing, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, pro truck, diesel.
Test drives and car reviews. I drove a Fiat 500. Good gas mileage, 27 city, 38 highway. Has a 1.4 liter, 101 horsepower engine.
News from the world of rally racing, NASCAR, and much, much more, including the Donkey of the Week.
Join us on the Power Hour every Wednesday, 2 to 3, only on Go Mile High.
Hi, this is Aaron the Candyman, and you're listening to Michael Titus, the Michael Titus Radio Show at GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. And yes, that was Aaron the Candyman. I'm going to talk to him about him right now. But before that, I wanted to let you know about it's Team Orton, Sheamus, Mason Ryan, Kofi Kingston and Sin Cara versus Wade Barrett, Intercontinental Champion Cody Rhodes, Jack Swagger, Hunico, and Dolph Ziggler. It's that 5-on-5 tag team match that's going to be at the Survivor Series. But now it's time for the Wrestler Profile interview segment. Aaron the Candyman, Hershey, Pennsylvania, 6'2", 20 ounces of sweet and sticky chocolatey goodness. 26 years old, Colorado native, 35 years of amateur wrestling. I don't know how he packed all those 35 years in 26 years of his age, but somehow he did it. Started training in April of 2009. He's been in Fusion Pro Wrestling, Asylum Championship Wrestling, Northern Colorado Championship Wrestling, Amarillo Elite Wrestling, Primo's Hardcore and Wrestling, Ultra Championship Wrestling out of Utah, OMLL, Denver Lucha, NRW, IWF, NEW, UWA, MWA. He's done it all. He's been all over the place here in the Midwest region. He's former ACW Institutional Champion, former ACW Tag Team Champion, and just recently he was former NEW Champion. He was the first NEW Champion ever. You know, he's had a bad rap for many years. They said he's a good guy, but he doesn't need a title and all that kind of stuff, but that's untrue. He deserves a title just like the rest of us. And the rumors are false. His neck was not broken. It wasn't strained. It just hurts a little. And he's doing well. And I actually caught him. This is an interview I'm going to be playing here real quickly. And I caught him before he got on the plane to Mexico because he's going down there and he's going to be training and working hard. He's working some of the minor wrestling promotions in Mexico, and he's going to work his way up to CMLL. But we're running out of time on the program. Before I go, I'm going to tell you a few things, and then we're going to play out the interview segment with Aaron the Candyman. Upcoming show dates is November 26th, ACW 6-man tag team matchup. Michael Madoff, Pat Tanaka, and yours truly, Michael Titus. I'm going to be donning the tights, going up against Brandon Bishop, Sam Udell, and Richard Gustafson. You've got Danger Dean, the ACW champion, versus the Superstar. Chris Von Lohr versus Jason Knoll. Got December 3rd is UWA. December 4th is Primos. They have a special match, Grinch versus Santa Claus. I don't know how that's going to work out. December 11th, NEW. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of things going on. I'm going to have another wrestler profile. I'm going to have a promotion profile. You better like me on Facebook, The Michael Titus Show. Follow me on Twitter, Michael_Titus. Check out the website, themichaeltitus.com. You can listen live at GoMileHigh.com or later on Livestream.com. So here we go. Thank you very much. Until next week, here's my interview with Aaron the Candyman.
Hello, everyone. This is Michael Titus for the Michael Titus Show. I'm having an exclusive interview. I'm just barely getting moments before he gets onto boarding a plane to Mexico City. Aaron the Candyman. Aaron, I want to ask you a few questions. I want to ask you, okay, please, all the listeners that are listening to my show on GoMileHigh.com, they want to know some exclusive information about you. Please tell them all about yourself. Come on, tell them.
Hello. How are you? I'm kind of trying to go to a flight, Michael. What are you doing?
Well, we got to know, because I got to get this before. Who knows when you're coming back, and my listeners want to know about Aaron the Candyman. They've been calling me, texting me. They have been beating down my door. They want to know about Aaron the Candyman.
That must have pissed off your roommate if they're beating down your door. I mean, who's been asking you about me? Is it those morons over at the Full Nelson? Because I know they don't know anything about wrestling. Why would they ask about me?
It's all the fans. It's all your fans, Aaron the Candyman. They want to know about you.
All the 12-year-olds? I didn't even think they could use computers. I throw candy. My fans are 12. What do you want from me?